Welcome to Big Game Hunter,
where we hunt the big games
to make us all look tame.
Let's go.
Hello and welcome back to Big Game Hunter. College football playoff. College football playoff. College football playoff. It's playoff time. Hey. Marshall.
No. Started with 12. Now we're
Down to 1.
It's the CFP National
Champion. Let's go. College football playoff is here. I'm hunter number 1, Mr. Locks, hunter number 2.
Gutsy Picks Cash. I will say that song for the first time came up on my as a commercial yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a different version of the song.
What?
Bro, it was a version that was not played on the Pat McAfee show.
That song bangs.
Yeah, and I started to sing it last night, and then it was just a verse that I've never heard.
It was like a different part of the song, or that you didn't hear, or what?
It was not what they have been playing on Pat's
Just
show.
wasn't the same commercial.
No, it was not. It started off the same, and then it just went into a completely different verse, like where it was showing. It was weird. I don't know. But anyways, banger of a song regardless.
Banger of a song. Obviously, don't forget about our dear.
Oh, Resident.
Obviously. He's been here from the start. But you know what? Obviously, we have 12 teams. We have one team left. That will be the champion after all of this. And we are diving headfirst into this. In South Bend this weekend on Friday, first game, Indiana, the team that lost to the Buckeyes but are undefeated everywhere else. Indiana on the road in South Bend against Notre Dame. Notre Dame's -7. Guts totals 51.5. Can Curtis Rourke and the Hoosiers, can they take down Riley Leonard and Notre Dame?
Last week, I won a nice free hot pasta meal off of you because I told you that Notre Dame is going to dominate. I told you that last week. They are going to dominate. They're going to cover they were 7-point favorites last week.
Yeah.
They're going to cover the 7. They're going to run away with this game. What they do, they ran away with the game. Okay, we're in another similar spot here where they're taking on Indiana. I love Coach Cignetti, okay? Curtis Rourke, good quarterback, not bad. But at the end of the day, this is basically the 2023 JMU team going up against a legit powerhouse in Notre Dame who's going to create more havoc, just destroy these boys in the trenches. And as much as I love Cignetti and I think he can get it done, it's not with this roster. It's not. He fell in the perfect situation this year with the perfect schedule. Everything worked out perfect. Well, that is now done. Yeah. They are going to get blown out by Notre Dame. It's going to be a rout. Notre Dame -7.
I win Indiana money line. I think Indiana wins the game outright. Riley Leonard, fraud. How many times are we going to let Riley Leonard sell in big games? Look, I love Kirk Cignetti, okay? Great guy, great coach. What did I do to him? I smoked up. Put that bitch out. I burned a step on it. That's what Will Howard did to Indiana. He put that bitch out.
He did.
Like that. That's what he did. That's something that Riley Leonard just can't do. Riley Leonard just simply cannot do that. This Indiana team, look, I know it's tough. They haven't played anybody all year, right? They played Ohio State. They got blown out. They won probably the easiest schedule in all of college football. That's why they won on this massive run this season. But this Notre Dame team, guys, I just don't think they're that good. I know they got Jeremiah Love. I know their offense is good. This is a team that still lost to NIU, guys. They still lost to NIU. Earlier in the season, I know they might be a different team now. I don't care. I think Indiana's prepared. Cignetti will have the guys ready to play in this game. It's going to be hard to win at Notre Dame, but Notre Dame has had games at home where they folded. I mean, I've been in that stadium, and those fans, they love Notre Dame, but they fold at home sometimes. Give me Indiana. I want the +7. I want the money line, too. I'm not fucking around, okay? I want the money line. I think the Hoosiers win this game outright. SMU at Penn State, the Saturday slate. Gus, they're an 8.5-point favorite. The Nittany Lions, total 53.5. Do you believe, Gus? Do you believe in the Mustangs? That's the question I'm asking. Do you believe?
You know, we don't root for injuries in this show. It's not something we do. It's not something we talk about. But all I'm going to say is if an absolute disaster happens, Penn State's starting quarterback gets hurt, they don't have a backup. Backup entered the transfer portal. They don't have a backup quarterback. So I just have to point out that if somehow, some way he does get hurt, it will be the greatest, travesty in college sport. It will change how college sports work forever. Because you know what the issue was? NCAA football they just kept hearing all these complaints from us for years, all the fans, right? We want this, we want that, we want this, we want that. And finally one day, They sat down. They said, you know what? Fine.
Fine, take it. Here, you want it? Here
it's
it
like
is.
when the little kid is complaining about the candy or something. You know what it reminds me of specifically? It's when I used to bitch to my mom in the great year of, I believe it was maybe 2012. And I mean, I was bitching to her for months. Call of Duty MW2. Call of Duty MW2. All my friends have it. All my friends have it.
I need the game. I need the game.
It's November 30th or something, a month before Christmas. And I'm crying about it again one day. She storms into the closet, grabs it out the top of the closet, says, this was going to be a Christmas present. Throws it to me, right? You kind of feel bad.
And you're a scumbag piece of shit. Bryce, come on.
You kind of feel
That's
bad.
scumbag territory.
You kind of feel bad, but guess what? You get what you wanted. Okay? And that's kind of what the NCAA did. They just gave us everything we wanted. They gave us the 12-team playoff, the transfer portals, the NILs. They threw us everything we wanted. And it's a disaster right now in college football because kids are on playoff teams and they're opting out. They're going to transfer portal. It's insane. That being said, James Franklin stinks. Can't win the big one against a Big Ten school specifically. SMU's not a Big Ten school, but SMU's a big school. And SMU's is not one to sleep on. No. SMU, give me them to cover the 8.5.
Penn State wins the game, SMU covers. I'm the same here. Look, I don't believe – I mean, bro, when it comes down to the college football playoff and who can actually win it, what quarterback do you trust most to actually go out there and win it? That's the question that you have to ask yourself because, it's always a quarterback that can play decent, that brings his team all the way to the top, okay? Stetson Bennett doesn't count. Stetson Bennett stinks, okay? But whatever. No, I'm not talking about him.
Does he?
Okay? Does he play football anymore? I don't think he does. Stetson Bennett disappeared off the face of the planet, bro.
Stetson Bennett again, drinking issues. Like now you're attacking his drinking problems, which is not nice.
Dear, I said nothing about drinking. You brought that up. I didn't bring that up. I didn't say nothing about drinking.
You're attacking his weak points. That's not appreciated.
Okay.
I'm in Stetson Bennett's camp, so we don't appreciate the comments. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. That's a fake camp.
I watched him win a natty. I watched him drop 70 in a national championship game. Like, I know Stetson Bennett.
Well, yeah.
No one knows Stetson Bennett like I do.
I mean, the most cakewalk natty of all time, Stetson Bennett. That's literally the most cakewalk of all, literally of all time.
Because Stetson Bennett.
Well, no, SMU covers the spread. Penn State wins the game. This is not the one that James Franklin folds in this early, right? I don't think so. But he squeaks this one out. Literally barely. I think they probably win this game by 4. SMU can score with anybody. Oh, yeah. That's the problem they're going to run into. And we just saw Oregon. Obviously, they're Oregon, but they put up 50 on Penn State. SMU's putting up at least 30, and I don't even know if Penn State can put up 38. So give me SMU to cover. Penn State wins the game outright. Clemson at Texas. Texas is a 12-point favorite. This is the biggest spread of the entire college football playoffs for the weekend. Total is 51.5. It's guts. A guy that you've bet on, a guy that you hate, a guy that you sometimes just can't stand. Cade Klubnik and Dabo sneak into the college football playoff. They got to play Quinn Ewers, maybe Arch Manning. People are talking about it. I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe Arch Manning. Texas is 12-point favorite. Guts, what do you got?
It's the biggest line, and it's probably the worst line. We have Texas, who, again, really hasn't beaten anybody this year that obviously the SEC championship game was.
Yeah, that was.
Wild.
Yeah, wild.
But, again, you've seen Texas struggle against defenses that do what? Create havoc. Who creates some of the most havoc in football and has since week 1? Clemson. They live in the backfield. They fucking go back there. They ask what the rent is. They pay it. They say, swipe the card. We'll take it. That's what they do. Yeah. They buy all the land back there. And guess what? They're going to get sacks. If Quinn Ewers is in there, again, we don't root for injuries, but that ankle.
That ankle's like a sitting duck. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like a sitting duck.
Yeah, and if he gets sacked one too many times, I don't know. And then in comes Arch Manning. Guess what? Is Arch Manning good? I don't know. Nobody knows, really.
Yeah, nobody knows.
He's gone out there and he's shredded little FCS schools. Congratulations. No one gives a fuck. Congrats.
Right.
Honestly, it's Clemson plus 12, but it is a Clemson money line sprinkle because if there's one coach I trust, it's one of the best in the country, and it's one of the best to ever do it, and that's Dabo Swinney.
See, this is my opinion on the game. I think Dabo's been a fraud for like the past 3 seasons. I'm not going to lie. It actually shocks the fuck out of me that you just bet Clemson because Texas wins this game by 3 touchdowns at least. Cade Klubnik stinks, bro. He's horrible. He's going to throw 3 picks in this game. This is the best defense in the country, nationally ranked. Texas. This is the best. Even against both times they've lost to Georgia, it's not been because of their defense. It's been because their offense is just insufficient. Guess what? Clemson's offense, they literally have an insufficient quarterback. So do not give me Kate Klubnik to come out here and pull off an upset. Hell no. Quinn Ewers and the Horns, they absolutely steamroll the Clemson Tigers. Welcome. My Buckeyes, here we go. Come on, Tennessee at Ohio State, minus 7.5. Total 46.5. Guts.
I want to say Tennessee, right? Just for the content.
Sure.
And I literally can't, because I can't stand what even Tennessee fans are doing. Tennessee fans are acting like they're gonna like, they have the whole shoe, basically. Yeah. Like, the shoe is theirs. Yeah. It's gonna be all orange. Like,
Bro,
that's what they think is gonna happen.
So stupid.
Because they're going in and they're buying, these little $150 tickets from little Johnny and Jimmy who live in a factory in Ohio. Yeah. And they're looking at, Barry from Tennessee, who said, hey there, boy, I'll buy two tickets for $2,500 a piece. And these little factory boys like, whoa, hey. Well, sure.
Bro, take them, all of them.
That's fine. I'll watch the game from my house. That's what they're saying in Ohio. And that's why there's going to be Tennessee fans there at the end of the day. Also, Tennessee practicing indoors. Practicing indoors.
Bad.
What are we even talking about? Nico, a guy who I've never believed, and I've kind of talked shit about him. Yeah. Pretty much every episode of this show, it feels like I'm talking shit about Nico. I don't believe it.
Ohio State also practicing indoors.
No, they're practicing outdoors. I just saw photos yesterday. I just did. That's a lie from the deer. I just saw the photos. I wouldn't say that if I didn't see the photos. Deer, put the camera on you, deer.
Deer.
Give me a sec. I'll get it.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
So maybe they did like an hour indoors on like.
Well, we'll find out. The deer will find out exactly how much time.
Practicing outside. And you can go to Ohio State if you want. Go to Ohio State's Twitter. Ohio State, yeah. Ohio State minus 7.5.
I don't think Ohio State covers 7.5. Look, I'm just gonna be honest. I don't. I love my team. Obviously, this is my squad. This is my boys. I know this team better than anybody on the planet. They win this game by 4 points. They win the game, and they don't cover. That's exactly how this game goes. I actually told my live the other day, I would put a lot of money on Tennessee plus 7.5 if I wasn't an Ohio State fan. It would probably be my biggest bet of the weekend. Will Howard has been a fraud, especially in the first half. I think if you're betting Ohio State minus 7.5, you're in for a sweat. The same way that you were with Michigan. Obviously, the line's way different. Team's way better. Ohio State minus 7.5 will not hit. I actually want it like a guaranteed on this show. First damn guarantee. Boom. Ohio State minus 7 will not hit. Tennessee covers, but Ohio State wins, and we roll, and we play Oregon. That's exactly what happens.
Your coach, Ryan Day, he had 3 goals this year. Beat Michigan, win the Big Ten.
0 for 1, 0 for 2.
And it was win the national championship, okay?
0 for 3.
He came out, and he almost revised it in his conference the other day. And
what did he say?
Yeah, our only goal was to make the playoff.
Is that true?
I'm not kidding. I just remembered this, like, right this second. Like, I'm just remembering this. I want to switch to Tennessee. I'm not kidding you. I want to switch to Tennessee.
You want Tennessee plus 7.5? Yeah.
Because I just remembered that. That is a fact. That did just happen.
Guys, Ryan Day, we don't need to take too long on this. Ryan Day needs to be fired. That is all I'm going to say. I can't wait for him to get fired. I want Ohio State not to win it so that I don't have to deal with him. Okay, last thing, I got a notification on my phone this morning. It said that Mike Vrabel, obviously alumni, ex-guy, chance of him coming over. Yeah. And I love Mike. No. Give me Mike. I need Mike in my life. Coaching my team, please. I would literally die. I would love it so much. So please, Mike Vrabel in the door. Doors open. Ryan Day.
This is the last thing I'll say about it. Mike Vrabel, if anything, will stay in the NFL, and there's a small chance that
he comes back home. Oh, to you. He's going to you. That's not true. He's coming to me. Mike Vrabel's coming to me.
Niners this weekend,
he's coming to me.
Who knows what happens?
That wraps up the college football weekend, the college football playoff weekend that we got in front of us. We got all 4 games covered. Now we go to the 2 games that we care about most in the NFL on Sunday. We start with my boys who still can make the playoffs. We can still mathematically get in. There's not a lot of things that have to go wrong, okay? There's a lot of things that can still go right. Browns at Bengals got to take care of business first. 7.5 point favorite at home. 46.5 is the total. Guys, I don't really give a fuck about the spread. We just need to win this game. And do we win it? That's my question to you.
Well, the Browns don't even know who their starting quarterback is right now. The Browns are in shambles. They're benching Jameis Winston, which I think is the dumbest thing of all time.
Yeah, and I saw, was it DTR?
Yes.
Okay.
The DTR can't throw the ball. I mean, at least James is going to throw some picks. He's going to throw some touchdowns.
No, absolutely.
He's going to actually throw the football as well. DTR literally looks downfield and then
just takes off.
And just runs.
Every time, yeah.
I mean, I don't really have anything to really say in this game besides the fact that your quarterback is a compulsive liar, which is a fact. Bengals minus 7.5.
This game should be a rout. There should be no chance that we don't win this game. So give me the Bengals minus 7.5. I love them in this spot here. Obviously, back at home, I'll be at this game. Very, very excited to go there on Sunday. Be back in the house. Feel the buzz of the jungle a little bit. So I can't wait. Bengals minus 7.5. Give it to me. Absolutely love it. Niners at Dolphins. The final straw. For the Miami Dolphins, they're minus 1.5 at home against a Niners team that's kind of hitting their stride a little bit. 44.5 is the total. Guts, you first. The Dolphins stay alive.
The Niners are frauds, okay? The Niners stink. They're not as good as everyone thinks they are. Brock Purdy is not that guy, as I've been saying for years. Okay, he had a good year and a half. Let's see where he's at in 3 years. I bet he's not the starting quarterback of the 49ers, okay? The Miami Dolphins have the MVP on their team in Tua Tagovailoa, especially if we make the playoffs, just to really prove that there's no one in the league more important to their team than Tua Tagovailoa, okay? All we need, you talk about how you can make the playoffs, legitimately all we need is the Colts to lose one game, okay? That's easy. They're going to lose probably their next 3. It doesn't really matter. We need them to lose 1. And then we need the Chargers to either lose 2 of their next 3 or the Broncos to lose out. Well, it's both picks. So that's very reasonable for the Broncos to lose out. All the Dolphins got to do is win out. We control our destiny. Dolphins minus 1.5 in an absolute rout in Miami in our last home game of the season. I can't wait to watch it.
Guts, I hate to bring this up. What do the Bengals need? What do the Bengals need to sneak in? We need one more Miami Dolphins loss. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins stink. They stink. Tua stinks. Tyreek stinks. He can't get open. Nobody can throw. Mike McDaniel needs to be fired. That's the state of them. That's the state of the Miami Dolphins franchise. That's where you're at right now.
So
because you're supposed to have this great year, right? And now, guess what? The Niners are coming to town, and you got to play a real football team. Here we go. What happens? Oh, Tua folds in big games that he has to win. That's what he does. He does it every single time he throws picks. That's what he does. Tua throws picks. Okay? My quarterback doesn't do that, especially in crunch time. He takes the Super Bowl. Tua could literally never do that. So give me the Niners here. Not only because the Bengals need the Dolphins to lose, but just simply because the Niners win this game. So give me the Niners. I went to money line, no points. I want no points. Keep them at the door. Don't need them. Tua folds. So Niners. We don't need a running back. We don't need a running back. We don't need a running back.
They don't have a running back or a quarterback.
You put Kyle Shanahan out there. Put Kyle Shanahan on the field. Tell him to go run the ball. Doesn't matter. What do you mean, Brock Purdy?
To who?
Well, he's throwing it to everybody. Juwan Jennings, throwing to George Kittle, throwing to Debo, throwing to everybody. He's throwing to way more people than Tua does, tell you that much.
Oh, that's not true.
Give me the Niners. Niners money line for everything. Everything in the world, Niners. Thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode of Big Game Hunter. Let's have a college football playoff. We'll see you next week.